strings are in a harp?
Depends on the harp.
I like the sound of that.
Well, it's the one that I have is a Celtic harp, and it has 36 strings.
36 strings.
And it depends on, you know, the size of the harp, and, you know, I've also got a smaller one that only has 18 strings.
Okay, so you can have as many strings in your harp of life as you want.
Yeah.
And I chose a harp because I got more strings than a guitar has, so I had to move quickly in my head what that we can add. And when you think of harps, you think of this beautiful music. And what happens when one of the strings isn't tuned correctly? It gets a little bit disharmonic. That disharmony of life quite often is caused by dysfunctional families. Sometimes that disharmony is caused by alcohol or drugs. There's a lot of things that cause disharmony. But who tightens up the strings in your harp? You do. You tighten them up to make harmony in your life. And so many times people say, well, my harp isn't going to ever sing a good song because I have X. And the X is usually somebody else. It could be kids, it could be a husband, it could be a wife, it could be that they cause your life harp not to play well. You're in charge and they aren't. Find a way to bring in harmony by tightening up the strings of your harp. And look at those strings, and what are they? Sometimes they don't always play the same tone, do they? Say that you are really happy at your job and you go in one day and there's that jerk from next door that's in the other office that had to come by today, and that job string of your heart kind of goes jangle, jangle. What's that do to the rest of the strings in your heart? It starts making them jangle also. So you bless that person. I know, I'm looking at Ron's shirt, WWDD. What would Dottie do? I'd bless that person, okay? I'd say, no, you don't make my life disharmonic. Is that a word, disharmonic, or is it unharmonic?
It is now.
It can be.
Disharmony is definitely a word.
Dissident. Yeah. Dissident, thank you. Because you are this wonderfully tuned instrument that God gave you. When you were born, you came in here completely tuned with the universe, with the Spirit. And then you allowed what other people did to throw that harmony off. So think about that harmony that you have and how you can change it and how you can make yourself happier. Because so many times I find people say, I just don't feel right. I think I'm going to go to the ocean. How many of you, the ocean just completely aligns that part of you?
Yes.
Okay.
The ocean is my
The ocean. How many of you, I had a major surgery, and I was being taken home from the hospital and asked, where would you like to go? And I said, Henry Cowell Park. And I just was hobbling still and went into the park and sat on a bench and let the redwoods play. And for me, that just took all of that energy in my, what I call harp, you might call heart, and aligned everything so that I felt good again. Not just physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. I don't know how many of you have noticed this, but if you have surgery, something about the anesthesia kind of messes with your spirituality. You know, it just kind of, you're kind of feeling kind of nauseated out of your body. It's just not a good feeling. Find where you can go to get all of that put back into accord. And everybody has a place. I was talking to a client yesterday, and they said, I don't have any place to go to get away from all of this. My family, I don't have any place to go. And I said, yes, you do. You have a portable office. And she looked at me and she said, no, I don't. I said, what is your automobile? It has a window, it has air, it has heat, and it has music. What more do you need to have a meditative place?
And a comfy chair.
And a comfy chair. And if you want to, you can lay down on the back seat. You know, I mean, yes.
And if you're really wise, you'll put some food in there.
Yeah. Well, next we'll get a porta potty and everything else. But I mean, just think of for an hour, you can go sit in that portable office, and you can take it to the park, you can take it to the ocean, you can take it anywhere you want to go. And she was amazed that there was a place that she would feel safe. And it's not necessarily from people, it was from the energy in her home, in her workplace, it was all of that.
One place that's free and very calming that I've gone and other people that I know have gone is the Rose Garden here.
The Rose Garden is great, yeah, and you get to just sit or get out and walk. You can do, you know, there's so many.
Get a bag lunch down at Zanotto's.
You got it covered. Who else has a special place that they go to realign themselves?
A place up in Marin Headland.
Oh, yes.
There's an old medicine circle up there that I
Oh,
found.
wow.
And I'll sit in the center and I'll just feel the energy. And I found it by accident. I was hiking. And I left there feeling so good. So I will go there now when I have a chance.
Anybody else have a place? Yes, Donna.
Here.
You come here? Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Good answer. Well, and I'll pay you after church. Yes, Rob.
Sometimes go to Rosicrucian Park.
Yes, and Rosicrucian Park it has such wonderful energy right in the middle of everything. And it has. That's same with Rose Garden, they both do. Anybody else have a special
Mercy
place?
Hot Springs.
Kevin?
Harbin.
Now, poor Harbin.
Oh, Harbin.
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Romans used to be.
And I think if everybody starts sending energy towards Harbin, I just see it starting to flower and grow, because the pools are still there. There's so much that can be done at Harbin, thankfully, because it wasn't all about the buildings. Harbin was all about the spirit, so we're going to bring that back, I know. Yes, Dolores.
No, I just said Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Which is wonderful, so like a magical little lake. And
Yeah, see, yes. Yes.
I just go to my hot tub.
You go to your own hot tub. Perfect.
Big basin.
Big basin? Yes, Regina.
Wow,
It's my meditation.
Where?
wow, is it then?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. I thought you said the Wild Mansion.
Oh, I know
That
that.
was it, but no. What Regina brought up is after my mother passed, I got a table and benches at Seacliff. And you can sit there and watch the ocean and the dolphins and all that. And at one end it says, Eleanor, wow, Ostroga, because we call her wow. And at the other end it said, blessed is the spot. And I'd gone there when other people were there and said, do you mind if I join you, and sat down and then said, this is what, in memory of my mother. And they all wanted to hear Mother's story. It was so neat. And yesterday, my sister turned 65, and we were at her house, and a woman who knew my mom, I'm going to cry, that's okay. My sister collects lighthouses. And this dear friend of ours from Publishers Clearinghouse received a painting of a lighthouse. She hadn't ordered it. She called them. They wouldn't take it back. They knew nothing about it. She knew didn't know where it came from. And so she wrote a card and said, "Dear Sue, this is from me, from my mom."
Wow.
We all just broke down and cried, you know. And we found
Because Sue collects lighthouses.
that Sue collect lighthouses. And so my mom from Spirit gave her a lighthouse. But it was so amazing. She took it out of the box, and it has a light with a battery. And you can turn on the light in the lighthouse.
Oh my God.
So that was one of those, you know, talk about all of us vibrating, and you know, about 25 people all vibrating to that energy of wow. Yeah, so thank you for mentioning her. Just a very delightful woman in my life. Anyway, but when you think about, let's go back to what I was talking about, the harmony, because sometimes we have heartache, and it becomes heartache. It becomes that silent note that kind of runs through everything. And when you have heartache, what happens? Everything else starts vibrating to a different harmony. But it's not as positive and as light. It's different. It's not bad, but it's different. So think about when you're going through life, what really turns on all of those strings in your heart? What makes them all vibrate in tune? And most of you have a common denominator that does. Some of it's prayer, some of you it's meditate. And how many of you find that when you dance, you feel so alive and so connected with music and life and all of that? There are other things that we can do to make sure that we still have that harmony. And it's letting go of worries and stress. And I talk about this, every week? I talk about letting go of worries and stress. And people seem to think that you can't do that. They just look at me like, well, Dottie, you're crazy. You don't understand. And I go, yeah, I do. You're worried, you're stressful, I know we go through that. But don't hold on to it, because that holding on to it makes everything in your body go off kilter. And the doctors have found this, especially the psychiatrists have found this, that that energy alone can cause you to be sick. And with the stress, the worry, that feeling you're out of control, that sense that nobody loves you, that feeling you're all alone, all of those keep mounting and mounting and mounting. And somebody said, yeah, but what if you're worried about money? And I said, I don't. But what does it do for you? And they said, well, I get sick. I said, then what does it do for you? Oh, I keep thinking if I had more money, I said, how much money does it take to make you feel wanted, loved, and appreciated? Have you ever thought of that? What dollar amount is it that makes you feel loved, wanted, and appreciated? You know, anybody got a number?
$1 million.
Okay. How many billionaires do you know that don't feel wanted, loved, and appreciated? You know, I mean, it's one of those things that money isn't one of the strings of your heart.
I want to try it. I want $1 million. I want to try
Christine.
I think about Howard Hughes, and anyway, I always say I want to be rich enough to be eccentric.
Okay, well there you go. How many eccentric people do you know that are truly happy? Quite often that's why they're eccentric, is because their harp isn't vibrating. You know, they're out of kilter, and that's why they become eccentric. Yes?
I was feeling kind of out of kilter, and I did some meditating, praying, and then I looked at the Course in Miracles affirmation for the day. Let all things be exactly as they are.
Right, exactly. Repeat it, please.
Let all things be
exactly as they are.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that a wonderful affirmation? One of the things I found out when I was looking at harmony and spiritual and harmony and balance and happy and all of that, I found out something. Now, I don't know anything about music, so those of you that are here can let me know about this. But it says that the notes that I've been talking about are those really bass notes, but we have other things that are sharp and flat. What does that mean? Those are those minor things in your life, aren't they? They're not the major harmonies, but they're the minor harmonies. Now, I don't know which does what, but I thought,
Sharp is higher, typically flat is lower.
okay, so sometimes we have a minor low in our day, but that's still part of that harmony, isn't it? And can you get too sharp or too flat? And then it's not a harmony anymore, it's a discomfort. So, yes.
Dottie, one of the things that comes to mind is that when there's a disharmony, it brings our attention to it to notice.
That we can
do something to harmonize.
To do something to bring it back into harmony, yeah. And so I had somebody pass out some orange slips, and they start out and they go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if somebody could start out with any of them, I think dancing is dancing the first one.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
You can dance any way you want.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Dance style is a great opportunity to let your hair down. Endorphins flowing through the body after dancing are also a nice boost and a great way to clear out spiritual negativities. If you don't have some kind of dance groups in the area where you live, find some music you like and dance to it for half an hour in your living room. And I actually do this.
Yay! So that's a way.
Wonderful.
That's a way to get all of that harmony
Absolutely.
back flowing. Who has number 2? Yes, Donna.
Laughing. Enjoying laughter and the associated biochemicals and hormones that go with it can be a wonderful break from the serious and sometimes dreary process of healing pain. Check out Spiritual Comedy on YouTube if you need a little extra reason to start laughing. I have these funny magnets on my fridge, and these little funny cards that I've seen at stores, and I take the cards and I tape them to my closet door, so I look at them, I read them again and again and again, they make me laugh every time.
That was great.
What is that website again?
Spiritual comedy.
Yes, spiritual comedy. It must be done.
Okay, who has number 3? Anybody have number 3? Singing?
Running around naked.
She's got singing.
I got a frog in my throat.
And a frog.
Not good for singing. Singing. For some of you, singing may feel like heavy spiritual work at first because you've got so much shame about your voice. So this activity may be a space where you grow for a while. However, many people already love their voices. Singing in our CCL choir can be one way to connect with people, enjoy the harmonies that come from it.
How many of you sing or sing to yourself? Sing in the car. I'm going back to that portable office. Put on music and sing. You know, I found myself, rocking down the freeway to the Beach Boys, and I wasn't that fond of them when they were around, but I really got into it in the freeway. So
The shower, great acoustics.
great.
Yes.
Do
we have a water shortage?
Shorter songs.
If you flip the air on again, it has our thermostat goes, and then all of a sudden it decides it wants to be 82 degrees. I don't know why. Okay, who has number 4?
Yeah. Rumble, rumble.
Okay.
Spending time in nature. When you start to awaken spiritually, there is often a drive towards being in nature more. There is a yearning for a connection that is free of ego and other karmic junk, while we open and clear out our issues. People talking about wanting a garden, moving to a cottage in a forest, or something like that during initial phases of awakening. It's a time to indulge that impulse. Go for hikes. Spend time on the beach, by the ocean or a lake. It can be a wonderful way to rejuvenate yourself.
Thank you. Do you do that, Jim?
Yes, but I had a reading from someone I trust telling me that I needed to do it more.
You needed to do it. Okay. Okay. I love this number 5. Who has number 5?
Going to community potlucks. Nourishing food is also soothing for the soul. That is the reason we have a community meal every Sunday here at CCL. Eating together is a great way to connect with people. A potluck facilitates interaction. And for those of you going through dietary shifts as part of your awakening, it can be a great way to get new ideas for meals as you align with a healthier diet.
Yes, and thank you, Chris Brown. And thank you
Yes.
for bringing, positive healing and food. That is so wonderful. Thank you. Okay, who has number 6?
Spending time with spiritual friends. But you have to decide who's spiritual. Getting out and spending time with others, you'll meet a few people who feel like they're on the same wavelength, or are at least open to different ideas and ways of being. Nobody needs to be a perfect friend. They simply need to be able to listen, although it's always nice when someone has a deep understanding of awakening and the spiritual path. It doesn't matter what you do with a spiritual friend. Being in each other's presence can be enough at times. This is interesting. When my husband died, I have whole blocks of days, sometimes weeks, which I don't remember, and I tried to remember it, and I can't bring it back. But I always had friends around who really helped.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
And if you want to spend more time with Norma, come to meditation.
Yes.
Oh, we've got an advertisement coming up here.
First Monday.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, number 7.
Enjoying spiritual movies and music. There are so many kinds of spiritual music, from the New Age stuff to old-time gospel to sacred chants. There are many songs created to adore the divine. You may want to revamp your music playlists to embrace this kind of music. And a reminder of what Dottie said. At the Aquarius Theater in Palo Alto this coming Thursday at 10:30, there will be a viewing of The Prophet, an animated movie about Khalil Gibran. I don't have any other spiritual movies that I particularly recommend at this time, but they're out there. They can be a fun outlet as well as an educational one, depending on the movie.
Anybody have spiritual movies? Yes, Liz.
I think it's called The Indigo Children.
Uh-huh.
Just really different, but it keeps moving that. How do I say that? Keeps.
It's spiritually awakening. Okay, Dolores.
Gaiam.
Gaiam.
Yeah, Gaiam is a website. You have to pay for it, but it's real cheap.
Gaiam is a website, and
yeah, Gaiam.com, I think.
.com.
But they have a lot of.
Great.
How's it
Donna?
spelled?
The Horse Boy.
Gaiam.
The Horse Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's about a shaman
Gaiam with an M.
healing a child who has autistic seizure disorder.
Wonderful. I mean,
Well, one whale rider.
Whale rider.
And it may not seem that, but Inside Out.
That's a beautiful.
Oh, is it? I just watched that again.
Inside Out is a tremendously spiritual movie about the idea of finding balance within ourselves with our own emotions. So it deals with all of the voices. You know, I've talked about the committee that's inside each and every one of us. Well, this goes into depth with the committee and viewing things like sadness as an important part. So it's about finding balance. So actually watching it, it really does have a very good spiritual message.
Okay, Christine.
Since I'm a huge baseball fan, Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
It's a good thing. Yes, April.
The fairy tale movie, it's about the first children that ever.
Ever saw fairies that they talked about and recorded. Yeah. Very good. Yes, Donna.
I just saw on Netflix a really good documentary. It's called Aluna, A-L-U-N-A, and it's about an ancient native tribe. I believe it was Colombia, called the Goji people, and they have the most amazing deep spiritual connection with Mother Earth. And they have come out to society to warn us about how we're destroying, how it's killing the earth, the things that we're doing, and how everything's connected from what we do down by the ocean, it affects up in the mountains. What we do in the mountains connects down to the waters everywhere, and they're pleading with people to, they call us little brother, to change what we do.
Wonderful.
And to be more aware.
Aluna.
Aluna.
Yeah, there's a movie I just watched with Donna McFarlane.
Oh, yeah.
What a great story. It kind of leads into what April was saying about the poor conditions for the farm workers. And how this guy, it's a true story, and he turns a cross-country racing team in school. They'd never had one, he'd never coached, he'd coached football. And he took these kids on a journey of self-discovery, both them and their parents, and he also learned about the culture. It's just an amazing story.
It's a great story.
I think what put it in focus was they showed the real coach working with his cross-country runners.
And these were Native American kids that he was working with, right?
No.
No.
Farm worker kids.
Farm worker kids, okay. Because there's a whole other one about the same thing.
That town's very close to where Ronnie and I are from.
And what was the name of that movie again?
McFarlane.
And there's a town called McFarlane who was on earlier. Wait just a minute, Jim?
It doesn't seem like it at first glance, but Groundhog Day. It's the clearest picture of having to come back and do it again that I've ever seen.
Yeah, Donna.
A Walk in the Woods. It's a new movie out with McNulty and Rob Redford. Great movie.
Okay, Kathy.
So this is actually a movie that Virginia's talking about. It's called The Blue Butterfly.
Oh, yes.
It's about a kid who had a brain tumor, but he healed himself through his passion for bugs and butterflies, and he met this entomologist and traveled to South America.
That's so great.
Actually goes to
Yeah, Sherry.
There's a movie called Resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
And it's with Sam Shepard and
Alan Burstyn?
Yes. And
at first you don't realize what kind of movie it is. But after a terrible accident in which her husband is killed, she has the power to heal through her hands. And it's just an amazing, amazing.
Thank you. April, you had another one?
Well, there were two things. One is the 500-mile Spirit Runners. I think they have a documentary about their work, and that's a community that's a part of this group that I meet with on Tuesdays. But the other one I was thinking of, wasn't it Pay It Forward?
That's what I was gonna say, pay it forward.
That one, you know. So there's a lot out there. It would be nice to make a reference list.
Well, why don't you all write down your suggestions and put them down, and then I'll do some research and we'll come up with some others. Thank you so very much. Okay, well, we don't have the choir today, and we also don't have Ronnie today. So I felt that this would be a good time, since I haven't done this for 2 months, is to do readings from the pulpit. So, and what happens is I want you to, for those of you, if you're new, might not know, but that's what I do every day, every week, it seems like, 5 days a week. I'm a professional psychic, and I'm a medium. I have a spirit guide called Ma, who works through me. And Ma's given name is Mahalaleel, but I started calling him Ma 72 years ago when he appeared before me. That makes a lot longer ago than, say, 1943, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's more personal, too.
Yeah, it's more personal, that Ma started talking to me. And you have, when you ask me a question, be prepared that the answer might not be what you want. I had psychic readings where the psychic always told me what I wanted. Unfortunately, Ma doesn't do that. He will tell you exactly what's going to happen. So be aware. If you want to know, if you ask the question, be prepared for the answer. Okay, and we're going to start at the back row because usually we started with the front row. So anybody in the back row have a question, Regina?
Do I have anything else coming up with my car that I am unaware of?
Ma says that that car is telling you it doesn't really want to be around much longer. So just be prepared, because it really doesn't like the winter.
So it takes a hiatus all summer to die in the winter?
No, it was warning you. Ma says it was warning you. And so talk to it. Do some Reiki on it and make it through the winter. But right now, it's not, I don't particularly want to go through the winter.
Or put it out to the energy, say you want a car, and be specific.
Right, and be specific what kind you want. Okay, somebody else in the back row? Oh, hey, this is interesting. Okay, the next row. Wait, yes.
This is my first time here. I lost my father recently. I wondered.
Yeah. Well, but one of the things with your father, he says he's not lost. Okay. He says you might be lost, but he's not. That where he is, he has some friends that are there and some families that are there. And right now he's going about reuniting with the beings that he had with on this planet. He'll get back to you shortly. Don't worry. He's going to be talking to you, and it looks like it's going to be about the middle of October. But you have to, for all of you, any of you have people who passed that you really miss, I'm going to give you a ritual to do, okay? You take a picture of your father as big as you can make it, and you put it across the room from you. You put a candle on each side of the picture, a good-sized candle, and you sit down. Before you do, you turn off all the lights, and you do this alone, without anybody in the house. You sit in the chair, and you look into your father's eyes, and you say, "Daddy, I miss you." And you'll feel something. Sometimes you hear a voice, sometimes you see a light, sometimes you will feel a breeze on your arm, but I guarantee you will feel something and know that you are not alone, that he is simply invisible. Okay, and if you feel like, yeah, but I want some more, ask him, "Daddy, what are you doing? But, you know, do you need help?" No, he doesn't need any help. He's doing fine, thank you very much. But he's trying to help you. But first of all, it's kind of like when you go visit or you move to another city. If you were to move to San Francisco, what's the first thing you do? You talk to your friends you knew in San Francisco, you get your place to live, you do all that. Then you think to call back and talk to who you left. Well, that's what he's doing. He's still getting acclimated, if it were. So don't worry, you're going to be in touch with him. Okay. And do the thing with the picture, it really works. Yes, Zeke?
I wanted to ask Ma, we're getting ready to make a major move to Nevada in the mid of next year. And I wanted to know if that's good or what Ma says about it.
Well, Ma says that right now you still need to figure out exactly what it is you're going to, where you're going, and why you're going, and who you're going with, and when. And that sounds like typical, a list that everybody should make. But what Ma says is that you personally do better when you know exactly what you're doing. Okay? So if somebody just says we're moving and you don't know where or when, you're going to find yourself kind of stonewalling it, not getting on the train to do it. So you have to get it a little bit more, he says, concrete before you start packing. Okay? Good. Yes, Kathleen.
So recently, my neighbor had to put down her cat, and it was ill. And then we've had some concern: is someone poisoning cats?
No, but the cats are being poisoned, but we don't see it's somebody. It looks like either somebody has sprayed. I mean, in other words, it's not intentional. Nobody's poisoning cats intentionally, but the cats are ingesting something. And Ma says it looks like it's a spray of something outside.
Like rat poison or just?
No, it's a spray like it's almost like it's...
They're fogging
something
in areas for
mosquitoes.
West Nile.
Mosquitoes? Yeah. It's something that they're doing and you're not aware, because I see it glistening on the trees and the plants and that type of thing. So it's... And so, if you want to have happy kitties, you have to keep them inside. Okay. Okay. Donna, it's getting warmer in here.
73.
What?
73.
There. Okay, thank you. It's weird.
Your podium.
Yeah, our thermostat is doing
It was
something.
kind of this way last week, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was doing something different. Okay,
No,
next.
no.
The next row.
Don't you feel?
Yes, Dee Dee.
Yeah, I'm looking for an attorney for a slip and fall and for the victim witness. I need to collect my lost wages and then them address unresolved issues within the program. And can you give me a name?
No, Ma doesn't. Ma could care less about names of attorneys. I'm sorry.
Am I going to win cases?
Ma says it's iffy.
Iffy?
Yeah, and he says it's somehow you don't have enough pictures or witnesses to handle this case. You need some more information.
Is that for the victim witness part or the slip and
The
fall?
slip and fall.
Oh, the slip and fall?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so you need some more evidence for the slip and fall to work.
And then am I going to get a substantial amount of money for the
Don't know
lost
right
wages?
now. Let's go forward with. I don't know because you don't have all the information you need to win the case, so I can't really tell you what you're going to get.
No, the lost wages is set, but they want to pay me for 25 years.
Wow.
They want to pay you for 25 years lost wages?
That's what they're saying, the advocates.
Well, I'd go for it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's substantial.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back.
That sounds like a
I'll
no-brainer.
donate.
You know, Mom's just kind of like, what? Why they question? You know, like if somebody's offering you that, why are you questioning it?
They compound the injury every time I address them, and so I'm really leery about.
But if they're going to say that you're 100% disabled, you might want to add that up and see what it looks like for you.
I thought about getting an attorney to address.
This is not just one question, Dee Dee. We're going to have to talk about it later.
Oh,
yeah. Call my office. Yeah. Okay, Donna, did you have your hand up? No. Okay. Somebody in this row? Paul, David, Linda Sue, Mel. Okay.
I have a court case coming up in December. It's an expedited hearing. I'm not sure yet what it's for. If it's to close my workers' comp case, or if it's just another thing.
No, Ma says that they want to finish it. They want to put an end to it. So it looks like it's a closing of the case.
Will I be happy with the results?
No. So you might want to appeal. Yes. All right. Oh, we're that row. We're done? Okay. Oh, David?
Well, I have a really big problem procrastinating. I'm trying to move to San Jose from Gilroy. I keep procrastinating. Is there anything in the future that I'm going to stop and finally do it?
Ma says you're just like, Ma says he gave an answer to Zeke that you should take, and incorporate. And you have to figure out where, when, how, what,
Exactly.
instead of saying, well, one of these days. And so that's the win. Okay, yeah. Anybody else in that row? Okay, Donna.
Life is very overwhelming for me right now with Bill. I'm wondering if there's relief in the near future.
Well, I keep saying you need somebody to help you. And it doesn't have to be 24/7, but it certainly has to be 8 hours a day. Okay, not necessarily every day, but he's just saying somebody there. Okay, Kevin.
I'm very overwhelmed, and I really need a job. And I'm just wondering.
One of the things Mom says is that you haven't put out the energy enough of what kind of job you want. When you put out to the universe, I want a job, they will offer you a job digging ditches. And so you need to be, anytime you communicate with the universe, you need to be specific. It's like when you say to God, dear God, I want somebody in my life. And a homeless person knocks on your door 10 minutes later, and you say, no, no, not you. Then you've negated what you've asked for. So Mom says, make a list of exactly the type of job you want. Put it between your two palms and say over and over exactly the job that you want so the universe can hear it. And keep doing that. And then if you get an offer of that job, and it's in Tuba City, in Arizona, you might go, whoops, I didn't say exactly where. I don't know what, if you wanted to work with the Native Americans or why Tuba City came up, but it did. Okay, Christine?
Okay, I'm confused. I'm concerned, again, about Ronnie's health, but I'm
You
also...
can't do anything about it.
Okay. Okay, I've inherited, and I'm going to inherit money. I've got plans for land. Am I going in the right direction?
It depends, my mom says it depends on what you want the land for. I mean, you need to say, same thing all around. Be specific. I want 5 acres to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Be specific. Don't just say I want some land. I want land up in Pollock Pines, and I want 5 acres, and this is what I want. But you can't, the universe can't give you non-specific things. You have to be really specific.
Is Brandon going to have a job and be able to move out within a year?
No. He has to be motivated. He's not motivated. Okay, quickly, because we've only got 3 more minutes. Yes, Norma.
I get contacted by Virginia almost daily or every other day, and she never says anything.
Yeah, she doesn't need to. She just wants to know that people are still here.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So she's okay.
She's fine. She just needs that energy. That's her fix.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Blanca.
I'd like to know how my son Danny Ray is.
Danny Ray is not too happy, and he really needs something to do that will feed his mind and his spirit. So if you know somebody who could visit him and spend some time with him, that can really change his energy, because he's very depressed. Okay, does that, you understand? Okay. Anybody up here? Donna?
Is my dad going to gain total independence again?
No, because he's getting to the point he doesn't want to. Okay, so somebody has to convince him that he can take care of himself, or he's going to always be looking for somebody to be a little bit of a caregiver. Christine?
I just want to know if Mom has any messages for me.
Yeah, Ma says that right now we keep seeing that you need a hobby. Okay, I don't know what it is, but yeah, something. Okay, Eileen?
I've got a lot of pathways that are opening for me in the next 12 to 18 months. Does Ma have any input or advice on processing that?
Ma says exactly kind of like what I've told other people. You have to say, what's for my best? What is it I feel I can do the easiest? What is it, and where is it, and how do I deal with that? Because Ma says you can't get too far away from where you are right now, because if you do, this is weird. Okay, all of you who asked that question of what, when, why, what. Ma says that like the heart, you're vibrating a certain energy, and when you take and you put your mind on too many different things, the vibrations slow down. So focus on one thing and make sure that's moving, and then you can focus on something else. But right now you're too scattered, and so we want you to get that focus going on. Okay. Okay, Mel?
Can I just make, I had a comment on the manifesting thing. I have been